Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to jump right into a text that asks one of the biggest questions imaginable, a question that people have been asking for all of human history. Why are we even here? And this is really the core question, isn't it? It's the whole reason for this discussion. And according to the source material we're looking at, this isn't just some philosophical thought experiment. The answer we land on has huge consequences for how we actually live our lives. All right, let's get into it. The text we're analyzing makes a powerful claim that our entire lives, our ideas, our actions, our whole sense of purpose, it's all built on the foundation of how we answer this one single question. And according to the author, getting it wrong isn't just, a small error. It can actually lead to a life full of confusion and unhappiness. And the effects don't just stop when our time here is up. It's presented as the most critical piece of knowledge we could ever hope to find. So, what happens when we try to figure all this out on our own without any kind of clear guide? Well, the text lays out this really fascinating contrast. On one side, you've got all the answers humans come up with. And the author points out, there are tons of them. They often clash with each other, and frankly, they can lead to a lot of conflict and misery. But then, on the other side, the text says the creator's answer is singular, it's clear, and it's designed to lead to happiness. Think of it like this. Would you rather have 100 different maps, all telling you to go in different directions, or the one single map from the person who actually built the city? And that's what brings us right to the solution the text offers up. The author's argument is, look, any complex piece of tech you buy comes with an owner's manual, right? So for something as complex as life, the manual has to come from its creator. The only guidance you can really trust, therefore, is divine guidance. So that leads us straight into the first big principle the text lays out for understanding life: faith in a creator. But here's the thing. What kind of faith are we actually talking about here? And this is a really important point the author makes. This isn't about some blind leap of faith in the dark. The text presents it as a conclusion you arrive at, through reason, through looking at the evidence around you. It's a rational conviction grounded in reality. Okay, so where's the evidence, you ask? Well, the author argues it's not hidden at all. It's literally everywhere. From the biggest galaxies down to the smallest detail in nature, all of these are presented as signs, just waiting for a thinking person to read them. And it's not just about looking out there. The text says we also have to look inward. Just think about the sheer complexity of our own bodies, or the mystery of consciousness itself. The proof, according to this, is literally as close as the person you see in the mirror. So this all breaks down into two key ideas from the text. You have the signs on the horizons. That's all the evidence you see out in the universe. And then you have the signs within, the evidence you find inside your very self. Together, these are supposed to form the basis for that rational faith the author is talking about. All right, so now that we have that foundation, the text gets into the stakes. And believe me, they're high. It really paints a vivid picture of two totally different paths, and it uses some seriously powerful metaphors to describe what happens when you choose one over the other. So according to the text, if you go down the path of disbelief, it's described as basically being lost. It's like you're on a road to nowhere, spending all your effort for nothing, living in darkness without any light to guide you. And ultimately, it's described as a kind of spiritual death, where the soul is just cut off from its real purpose. But then, in complete contrast, faith is presented as the thing that pulls you out of all that darkness and into one single clear light. It's a journey from confusion to clarity, from wandering aimlessly to having a real purpose. And here's another really strong image the text uses. It compares disbelief to a tree that's been completely uprooted. There's no stability there, no foundation. And of course, it can't produce anything good. It's fundamentally unstable. And that brings us to the last big metaphor here. Faith isn't just a set of ideas you hold. The text frames it as the thing that actually makes a soul come alive. So in this view, to live without it is kind of like being, alive on the outside, but dead on the inside. Okay, but faith in a creator? That's just the first piece of the puzzle. The text says there's a second principle that's absolutely essential to get the full picture of life's purpose, a belief in the afterlife. And the logic goes something like this. If a wise creator made all of this incredibly detailed universe, then it can't all be for nothing, right? It wasn't just created for fun and games. This principle suggests that our lives, our actions, have a real meaning and consequences that go way beyond our short time here on Earth. And the text tackles that classic skeptical question head-on. You know the one. How can you possibly bring bones back to life after they've turned to dust? It's a question people have been asking forever. And the answer it gives is all about logic. The argument is pretty straightforward. If a creator could make something out of absolutely nothing the first time around, then putting it back together from stuff that's already there, well, that's actually the easier part. It frames resurrection not as some impossible miracle, but as a completely logical next step after the first creation. So what happens when you put these two big ideas together, faith in a creator and faith in the afterlife? How does that change your view of the world? Well, according to the text, it changes everything. Your whole perspective just flips. All of a sudden, this life isn't the end-all be-all. It's a journey. And because of that, what you see as success or failure, happiness or hardship, it all gets reevaluated through this brand new lens. The author argues that without that bigger picture, without the afterlife, this world can feel like, well, just a temporary playground. The joys don't last, and you're left wondering what the point of it all is. But with that context, suddenly every single moment matters. And this all leads to the final, really provocative question the text leaves us chewing on. It really makes you stop and ask yourself, what is this life all about really? Are we here just to gather stuff, to collect things for ourselves? Or are we here to do something, to work and grow and cultivate something that's going to last way longer than we will? It's a question that reframes everything,